Okay, so Rentokil surprised me this week. I own this stock by launching a sort of a trading update. They weren't really due one. It was kind of an unscheduled announcement, and they've done a couple of these in the last 6 months or so. But anyway, they were saying how Q4 had gone because that's now finished, and they do run their quarters sort of in line with what you imagine they would be. And their report is, well, the market took it pretty well. This is a strange sort of a business that's been struggling in various ways recently, but organic revenues were 3% higher overall, 2.5% higher in the US as they're starting to see finally some of the benefits of their big acquisition coming through. 2.5% organic growth is probably not amazing, but what you're starting to see is a big inorganic lump in with that as well. So that's kind of the point of the acquisition. Margins, they say, are going to be in line with the guidance, and if I'm honest, I've forgotten what the guidance is. The full report is due in March, where we'll get a bigger breakdown of this stuff, and that I was expecting, by the way. I'd got that one in the diary as happening, but not really soon, and I was looking forward to that one coming. The US chief is moving on. He's going to be replaced by a different US chief. The reason I wanted to talk about this mostly is because I finally thought of a decent analogy for what I think of Rentokil recently. It's been like, and this is about the level of this show. So, Steve, have you ever seen like a snake trying to eat an antelope? Basically, there's some. If you haven't, then well, maybe find a picture of it. Actually, if you imagine that for the moment, that's roughly what's been going on with Rentokil over the last year and a half, I think, or so. And they've been making a pretty big deal of it, and it is a pretty big deal for them to try and make of it. But if you think that's a weird acquisition, Steve, wait and see what we've got coming up later on this show.
Basically, Steve, it's the reason I've been banned from hog roasts.
Because you can unhinge your jaw like a snake.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And the guy had to wait a few weeks for his poll to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, so the report was fine. Basically, the market responded quite positively. The stock has come back a bit since they've kind of calmed down and realised that 3% organic growth and 2.5% in their biggest market, the US, isn't super exciting, but things are moving on in the right direction and roughly on track. So I wasn't expecting an update there particularly, but having seen it, I felt like I couldn't not mention it.
Yeah, and the market seemed to like this one, didn't it, Steve? Didn't it? Didn't travel up a little bit on the back of this. I saw it up a couple of percent because, well, actually, I think you highlighted it to me and said that you was being distracted by it, and I noticed it had gone up a little bit. But yeah, new CEO in America, that might be okay, Steve. A sort of fresh pair of eyes on that business and how to get it back together without the sort of clouded judgment of the old and the new business. So, yeah, I don't know, Steve. Every time we look at this, I think the business is getting a little bit better, and I don't think really anything has changed there. So for now, it's just on to growth for them. We need to start to see that growth return, however it returns, and I think they're still pretty well positioned to do that, Steve.
Yeah, stock did well on the news, slipped back a little bit later in the week, and I continue to be kind of interested in this. But you've been watching a segment from the Playing FTSE show, brought to you in association with our favourite broker, Trading 212. For the full version of the show, check us out on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you open a new account with Trading 212 using the link in the description, there's a free fractional share in it for you. Just make sure that you use the code FTSE when you sign up. Terms and conditions apply, and do remember that when investing, your capital is at risk.